This is a video by Richpin. The days are cold and I've taken my 56 Beetle and put it on jack stands for the winter, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to give you a little look at it. This is what it looked like when I first got it. And here's what it looks like today. I purchased it in 1991, sat around for about 5 years, and I decided to start working on it and restore it. I did all the body work and paint myself, did the interior, rebuilt the motor. The motor is a 1600 dual port. It's got dual 40mm carbs. We got a alternator system, and then I fabbed this spin-on filter. I only used it for the first year. Then I went with this aftermarket filter underneath the fender here. It holds about 1 quart of oil. And as you can see, it's pretty clean. It doesn't get driven out in the bad weather. Even if it's raining, I don't drive it. Now, as far as the suspension goes, I took out the torsion bars, indexed them 3 splines both ways, and that dropped the suspension down in the back 2.5 inches. If it was on the ground, you could see that. The tires were running Pirelli P400s. We've got the 205 70 R15s in the back, and then the fronts we got Pirelli 185 65 15s. Now, on the exhaust system here, I fabbed my own exhaust system out of 2.5 mandrel bend, and then of course it has a header system on it. The muffler is a small turbo type muffler. I didn't like the commercial ones. The mufflers stuck out too far. As you can see, it's tucked in really tight against the fender. I couldn't find anything I liked, so I made my own. And the interior I did in gray velour. I put a later model speedometer with the fuel gauge in it. It's got a monster tack. Short MP shifter on it. Works quite well. Stayed with the roller type gas pedal. And the reserve lever is still intact and works if you need it. And of course I did the headliner. I was a little leery about that job. I mean, a headliner is a big thing to do, but it came out pretty good. And the radio I mounted back here in the kick panel. I have a remote control, so I have no problem accessing the radio. And then for speakers, I have a little kicker box back here. And what I did is I mounted the radio, I mounted the antenna for the radio in the kicker box. It works quite well. Now if we look underneath, we can see the pans are in very good shape, very clean. You could eat off those. And the tunnel was in very good condition, which is the backbone of any Beetle. And as you can see, it's got the original master cylinder, single piston master cylinder. I've even still got the 6-volt horn connected to the 12-volt. It works no problem. And then the front suspension has the adjusters. I welded in the beam so I could lower it down. It's lowered down about 5 inches. Now under the hood here, I took the gas tank and I drilled a hole in it and put in a video sending unit. I know some people might cringe about drilling a hole in an antique gas tank like this, but I wanted the fuel gauge, and of course it has the original jack and the spare tire. And this car has the original wire looms on it. I ohmed every single wire, and every wire is in excellent condition. So I kept the original wiring harness. I fabbed a speaker block off plate because I'm not using the speaker, so it prevents any excess airflow from getting into the car. And what I did is I put a couple of resistors into the line that runs up to the wiper motor, because the wiper motor is 6-volt. So by a couple of resistors, that lets me use the wiper if I happen to need it. And if you follow the wire loom down here, there's a little fuse box just for the headlights. There's 2 fuses in there, but you Volkswagen guys know that. Well, that about covers my tour of my little bug. I hope everybody enjoyed it. See you later.